Hey everyone, welcome back to VPC Peering. In the previous video, I showed you as to how to create two VPCs using the Launch Wizard. One VPC, which is VPC1, which has only one public subnet, whereas VPC2 over here has a private subnet as well as a public subnet. So just for differentiation. So now let's take a look at how do you peer both these VPCs. So on the left side navigation bar, let's go and scroll down to the bottom below NAT gateways for peering connections. Okay. So in the peering connections, let's go ahead and create the peering connection. I'm going to call this peering connection my VPC1 hyphen my VPC2 hyphen peer. And over here, you have this concept called as requester and acceptor. But since both the VPCs are in the same account, both the VPCs are owned by me, both the VPCs are in the same region, and it doesn't matter which is the requester or which is the acceptor. But if suppose, let's say that you have a VPC in region 1 and you have a VPC 2, which is in another account in another region, which is owned by a different owner, right? Then you can think about who's the requester, who has to initiate the peering connection and who has to accept the peering connection. You can do VPC peering across accounts, across regions. So you have all of that combinations over here. Same account, same region, or same account, another region, or another account, same region, or another account, another region. So you have covered all the possibilities. So we are going to choose the VPC1 as the requester. For our case, it does not matter because both are in the same account, same region. And we are going to choose the VPC2 as the acceptor. And then we are just going to scroll down and create the peering connection. As of now, the peering connection will be pending acceptance. You have to accept the peering connection for it to be active. So let's go to the actions tab on the top right corner and click on accept request. And you can see and verify these details and click on accept. So now the peering connection is active. So this is how you peer to VPCs. Now all you have to do is go ahead and modify your route tables. Let's take a look at that. On the left side navigation bar, let's go to route tables. And you can see over here, let's filter based on the VPCs so that we have more clarity. So over here, you have VPC1 that has two route tables, VPC2 that has two route tables. You can add the entry in all these route tables as either or traffic. But just to make it clear, what we are going to do is go back to our diagram. You have VPC1, which has a public subnet, and VPC2 that has a private subnet within which the database is in. And we would need to modify only these routes. So let's first identify the VPC1 public subnets route table. So going back to the VPC console, this is VPC1. This is the public subnet route table. Let's go to the routes and let's edit the routes and add a new route for the peering connection. So VPC1 is the 10 dot network. So we say VPC2's network, which is 192.168.0.0/16, either or traffic, should go through the peering connection. And you choose the peering connection and save changes. So which means right now, this public subnet respective route table can now handle the route to go through the peering connection to this resource over here. It has the route. So now let's add the route over here for either or traffic, for reverse traffic, right? So let's identify the route table associated with the second VPC's private subnet. So let's go over here, go back to route tables. Let's go ahead and again filter based on the route tables or expand this. I think it would already be filtered. Yep. So over here, you can see that this is VPC2, and this is the main route table to which the private subnet is associated. So to this particular route table, we need to go ahead and add a route to say the either or traffic. So this VPC is the 192 network, but the cross one is 10.0.0.0/16 network. You can even denote the respective subnet range if you want to, just for a global sake, for simplicity's sake. I'm modifying it to be the VPC range itself, but you can put your respective subnet range. Let's choose the peering connection, and let's go ahead and choose the respective peering connection and save changes. So now what you have done is you have added the either or traffic. So from here through the peering connection to this respective network, from here through the peering connection to this particular network. This is the same that you guys have to do in your NACLs. This is the same that you have to do in your security groups. So this is how you establish a peering connection and modify your route tables for either or traffic or cross traffic. So I hope you got a really good idea in regards to VPC peering. So the best way that you delete your VPCs is to first delete the peering connection. So click on your peering connection, actions, delete peering connection, scroll down, and you can also choose to delete the related route table entries. I'm also going to choose to do that. So I'll go ahead and click on delete. So once your peering connection is deleted, delete your NAT gateway that you have running, because one of your VPCs is a public private subnet architecture. So delete the NAT gateway. Wait for a few moments until the NAT gateway is deleted, release your Elastic IP, and then delete both the VPCs. So I hope you got a really good idea into how do you do private connectivity between two VPCs through the concept of VPC peering, and also private connectivity to an internet related AWS service without the concept of a NAT gateway or an internet gateway through the concept of VPC endpoint. In the next video, let's summarize all of the concepts that we have studied and some of the best practices in terms of VPC before we move on to some advanced concepts such as site-to-site VPN, transit gateway, and AWS Direct Connect. So I hope you had a really good experience in terms of understanding VPCs. I'll catch you in the next lecture where we summarize some important concepts. So have a great day, guys. See you.